This notorious drug lord, Alpo Martinez, shot and killed on the streets of Harlem. He was a larger-than-life figure who seemed to defy death. Fox 5's Lisa Evers goes over who he was and why he might have had a long list of enemies.
He was one of the city's most notorious drug dealers, famous since the 1980s for his murderous ways and mountains of cash and drugs, immortalized in dozens of rap songs and the movie Paid in Full. But it all came to an end for Alpo Martinez right here on the streets of Harlem, right where it all began. These are exclusive photos of Alberto Alpo Martinez on previous visits to Harlem in recent years. But his latest visit turned out to be his last. On Sunday, about 3:20 a.m., police were called to Frederick Douglass Boulevard near West 147th Street. A dark red pickup truck crashed into parked cars. The driver was shot 5 times in the chest through the car window and killed.
I heard 5 shots, one and then four consecutive shots after that.
It was Alpo, but his driver's license and other IDs had his witness protection name of Abraham Rodriguez with a Lewiston, Maine address. The murder scene stretched for blocks up to 151st Street. Alpo had been given a new identity when he was released from a Colorado Supermax prison in 2015 after serving more than 20 years for 14 murders. But instead of lying low, he couldn't seem to stay away from New York.
He's been seen riding around Harlem most of the time. You know, he's been seen down in Harlem a lot.
In addition to the murder convictions, Alpo was widely believed to have turned on many of his former associates in order to shave years off what could have been a life sentence. There is no shortage of people who may have wanted payback.
Other than him being who he is, there seems to be a thing with guns going on that everyone's, it's getting out of hand with the guns. Everyone seems to have a gun right now.
Sources tell me that Alpo may have been shot while sitting in his car further down the block and then tried to drive away to escape. Investigators will be looking at forensic evidence as well as surveillance video to get a clearer picture of what really happened. In Harlem, I'm Lisa Evers, Fox 5 News.
There you have it. The untouchable has finally been touched. You heard it right from the news. That was our source, Fox. And you heard it. The great Alpo. If you want to name him that or label him that, you know what I'm saying? The great Alpo has met his demise on the same blocks where he got his come up from. That alone, if that doesn't tell you that there's a problem, I don't know what to tell you. I know everybody's going to be like, but, that's all he knew. Some shit like that, but it doesn't play like that. And one thing for sure, it's always the block that you ride for, you definitely going to die for. This story is very intriguing. It's very weird because it's actually playing out in real time. It's not like it's something that's nostalgic, even though it has a nostalgic feeling to it because the movie was iconic. But we also have to remember that these are people's actual lives. You know what I mean? Like, people actually went through this shit. People lost their family members. People went to jail over this shit. You know what I mean? And like a lot of niggas that he informed on are angry. My thing in the long term is we ain't never gonna probably find out whoever killed him. Simple as that. Reason B is the list was pretty long. The list was pretty long. My thing is, bro, why go back to the same hood where you put in that amount of work and you know that you also put in other type of work that everybody's aware of where you're from. Like, snitching is never right. Like, if you did something, I feel like you need to be held responsible for your own actions. You know what I mean? I don't think you should bring down anybody for anything that they have nothing to do with. You know? And like, with that being said, it's like, there's a lot of angry people. I'm trying to figure out, how did you fathom that you were going to get out of this some way, somehow, without being touched? Like, and in the back of my head, there's a theory that's like, This is how it was supposed to end. This is how it was supposed to end. If it never ended like this, how was it going to end? He was going to age out on a rocking chair somewhere, like with all these memories in his head and just age out and die? Nah, bro. Ain't nobody that's been in this game. Ain't nobody that, it's like saying like somebody who's worked somewhere for 35 years and they will work until the day they die due to the fact that once they stop, it's what's next. You might think what I'm saying to you right now is very awkward. You may think it's not logical, but try to understand it. If you know somebody that's close to the age of retirement, if they don't start building their hobbies prior to them leaving whatever they're doing, they are constantly going to be reminded of what they used to do. So I'm wondering if it was one of those feelings, you know? Because to me, he was ready to die regardless. He was ready to go. There's no way you could say you weren't ready to go if you were acting like that. The irony is if when you listen to the news clipping, it says that he was he was in witness protection with the fake alias, but you're in the same neighborhood where this all went down. I don't know, man. To me, this is just somebody who just didn't give a fuck. Bottom line. That's as clean and clear as cut as I'm gonna put it. But to be that age, to have went through everything that you went through, to not give a fuck, I don't know, man. There's so much more you could have did. You could have gave back. You know, it would have never made up for all the shit that you did. Never make up for ratting, but you could have did much more with your life rather than just give it away like that because maybe you're tired of this shit or maybe you wanted to complete the story because this definitely completes the story. The story is now definitely completed, and at the same time, it's sad. It's sad, very sad, very sad. A lot of individuals lost their lives. A lot of people are still in jail to this day for that. And for you to get an opportunity to do for a do-over and throw it all away, it makes you really wonder, you know, is any of this even worth it? You know, hanging out, going to places like 55 years old. I don't know. Me personally, I want to be throwing private parties or going to a private party or doing something, but hanging out in the middle of Harlem at 3:00 in the morning at 55, I don't know if that's, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's where my head would be. In a situation like that. But to each his own. And every man is the king of their own throne, so they will go out the way how they feel fit. To me, it's just honestly a waste of life. I'm pretty sure he has children. I'm pretty sure he has family members. I'm pretty sure he has people that care about him. I'm pretty sure there's people waiting around answering the phone. I'm pretty sure that there was like people who were wasting their time and coming up there to visit you. And I say waste of time because now it's a waste of time, bro. It's definitely a waste of time right now. You are no longer here to reap the benefits, or your family will be no longer here to reap the benefits. You could have sold that book deal, made millions of dollars, came off of the streets, went back underground, and hit out. Lay low and just chill. But this whole mentality of like, I can't be touched. I don't understand where this comes from. Like, I'm still trying to figure out, like you think when they made your gun, they stopped making guns, period? Because obviously you cannot think that. But apparently a lot of folks think that. That's why you stay out of the way. You let these little young bulls do their thing. Because we were all young at one time. I don't condone none of the violence, but you let them do their thing. You stay out of their way. And if you are able to reach one of them, then you're able to reach one of them. But otherwise, other than that, when you get to the golden age of just chilling, you'll understand what I'm saying. Work and home. Occasional event. Work and home. Hanging out thing, it's not going to cut it. That could have simply been anybody out there. It didn't have to be Alpo. Could have been anybody. Could have been anybody out there that night. And like the thing that throws my whole head off is like it was Halloween night. Bro, there's just certain times of the year where you just don't go outside, bro. Or you bunker down, you know what I'm saying? You bunker down. Especially on a Halloween night. You bunker down. You got dudes looking for people. Everybody's masked up. Like, I know this whole coronavirus thing got everybody masked up, but it's not as scary when you got everybody wearing a mask that doesn't look the same. You don't know who's who. You don't know who's under that. So the fact that he even went out on a Halloween night, it's kind of weird to me, you know. But like they say, you know, like after these things happen to people, you start to see why it happened, how it happened, and like there was nothing that could have stopped it. It was like basically the inevitable, you know. It's sad. It's very sad because it's like, you know, you did what you had to do. You came home. You say you did what you had to do, and you came home. And I just want to know for what, bro? Like to stunt on New York streets, bro? That's crazy. You're supposed to be the older head, bro. Like, the fuck was that? But anyways, I guess this is how he wanted to close the chapter of his life and end the book. I think maybe now there could be a light at the end of the tunnel for a lot of the family members and a lot of the people that had to go through it. So maybe, you know, there's some goodness that came out of this or some closure for some people, you know. But I don't know. That's crazy. I'm at a loss for words. I'm not even going to lie to you because I'm just trying to figure out how does somebody just give away their life like that? You know what I mean? Like you weren't even tricked out of your spot. Like you gave away your life. You gave away your life, bro. There was nobody that tricked you out of that. But you know how it goes, right? To each his own. And I guess this is how he wanted it to be written, you know? But hey, listen, it ends like original, like any other gangster story. It ends the exact same way. The house always wins, you know what I mean? Like karma is very serious, you know what I mean? You can't do things to people like that and don't expect people to take it personal or have some type of animosity towards you, whether it's their family, their friends, you know what I mean? Co-workers. It could be anybody, fam. There's a lot of people that are involved in a lot of people's lives. There's a lot of things that people do for a lot of people. So when these things happen, you cannot be surprised when the retaliation is so long. You know, there's the one thing where they say about people like to fester, bro. You know, people like to take things in and watch you and like be like, all right, that's how you're moving. Okay, cool. I study your routine. You know what I mean? Especially if you're in Harlem, your routine been studied. I put that on everything. They know what time you're coming through. They know what time you're leaving. Every time you're in the neighborhood, your phone, somebody's saying, "Yo, pose in the neighborhood." Come on, man. But if you think you were super bad, man, that's crazy. I don't even think the baddest of the baddest think like that. You know what I mean? But if you think that you were a super bad man, you know, then Godspeed. I wish you the well. You know what I mean? With that saying, we're going to stay tuned for some more updates, some more reports to see what's going on with that. And keep you updated. And we out.